Hello guys! Today I'm gonna show you a small part of work in process on the TPF framework project. For those of you who don't know what is TPF, well, TPF is a very small, lightweight PHP framework. In fact, it is a mix of a framework with a template engine, ORM and so on, and a small CMS whose data editor is made in a type-agnostic way. That allows for a more clean separation of developers and administrators' duties and tasks than it usually happens to be in traditional CMS systems like WordPress or Joomla. So today I'm going to make a very small refactoring of the entry point or bootstrap code of the system. Why is it needed anyway if it's working right now? Well, there are at least 2 or 3 reasons for this change. First, today all the bootstrap code lives in user space, which means that it is not contained in the repository. That's really bad, even though it's short and really simple for now. For example, there is a plan for the next feature to add pretty formatting of the exception messages and sending them out as decorated error pages to the browser. That feature requires modification of the bootstrap code, which we currently don't have in the repository at all. Second, there is some minor code duplication, I mean using 2 or 3 lines instead of 1, in some of our tests that require both request authentication and routing. Sometimes we can benefit from this separation of request processing stages and call only one part. For example, what need to authenticate requests for unsecured routes in our tests? We can make them run much faster if we skip it. But a lot of tests, the majority of them, require both stages, so that violates the dry principle and should be fixed. Lastly, if we move that bootstrap code to a separate class, the user will be able to extend it and change the implementation. He can change it now too, but as I already said, now that code is not part of the project repository, and that's not acceptable and sucks. So I'm gonna start with creating a new class in the file core.php. I don't want to make a new separate file for it because of how directories are organized in the project now, and because it will be really short, believe me for that. And I'm gonna call it app kernel. It will have only one method, called process. And that method will take the request object as the only single argument and return the response object back. Okay. So what are we going to do is to move the actual bootstrapping code from index.php file in user space to our fresh new class, into its static process method, and replace that code with that method call. And because our new class does not have a namespace, at least for now, we don't even have to mess with imports, it will just work. Also, we need to check that we didn't break any functions. I'll visit 3 URLs in my browser. One of them, the data editor, checks the user credentials. And if the result is the same as before, then probably we are fine and can continue. So, as you can see, it's okay. The second change I'll have to do is to refactor our test methods. There are many of them, so this will not be as straightforward. I'll use the search in files feature of PHP Storm to find all the places that probably should be refactored. And after refactoring each test method, I will rerun it in order to check that I didn't break anything. Also, this time I'll have to add use statements on top to avoid prefixing our app kernel class name with backslash. This part seems to be done, but I want to make one more change to the code. I'm gonna move template rendering methods out of core.php file into their own service class. Let's call it template service and place it in its own directory. So here we go. Also, to leave everything nice and short in existing code, I will make a facade method called render, which will internally call render method of our template service. After that, I'll again test some routes in the browser to see if our templates are still rendering correctly, or if they are rendering at all. To test that, I will use the same 3 URLs from the previous check. Okay, so I think we are ready to review our code and commit. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next videos. Have a nice day.